Howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a day wherein something is in the air. Oh my God, I have had sinusitis my whole life. I've almost caught pneumonia several times in my life because of sinus drainage. My sinuses have been a total mucus factory this morning. I must have lost 2 or 3 pounds of weight from blowing my nose already. Thumbs up for that. But it is gray and dim. It is overcast and chill. Thumbs up for that. I slept a bit. Hopefully you slept a bit. That would be a very good thing. And hopefully you're going to have a good day today. That would be a definite thumbs up. And of course, for unloading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are helping to keep me and my aging pet alive. That is appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up for metabolizing. If you would like to be someone who is helping to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, as well as a PayPal link for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with cat food and other such things, and a post office box where you can send anything at all. I only ask for postcards and keychains, and I will show it off on camera and we will all marvel. So that'll be very, very cool. Front loading of videos over. Yay! Oh, thumbs up. Yeah, I did a little bit of sleeping, mostly tossing and turning toward the end of the night. I almost stayed in bed until 6:30. Thumbs up. It was about 1 o'clock before I finally got sleepish. So hopefully I got at least 4 hours of sleep. Yay for, medications to make you sleep. Hey, at least it works. I don't have a whole ton to talk about. While I went Walkies last night, I did a lot of thinking, but mostly ping pong balls in a wind tunnel. And that I would think a little bit about this here, and then a little bit about this here, then bounce over to this subject. I'd think about cryptid stuff, and then poing back over onto the inside, and then ding, something about the razor's edge, and then back to cryptid stuff. I did lots of thinking about the various layers on the razor's edge, because after all, when you pass from the outside where we are to the razor's edge, that's just a straight shot onto the apple rock layer. And you can pass from layer to layer because inside the razor's edge there is so much there that you don't end up just in one there. That sounds very bizarre, but it's on the outside here where we live. Inside of 1 square kilometer is 1 square kilometer. On the inside, per square kilometer, there is effectively 1,000 square kilometers of there. And on the razor's edge, oh boy, there's like 1,000,000 square kilometers of there for every square meter. There is a lot of there. And it all sort of occupies the same space, except you travel layer to layer, and each layer is slightly separated from the next, so it's completely separate and disparate. Yay! Thumbs up for that. There's a lot I was thinking about that, but I've already confused myself, even the way I've been talking about it now, so thumbs up. Mostly it's cryptid stuff that I want to talk about on the whole creative front, but first a bit more just about life. When I went to Walkies, went on Walkies to Walmart. It takes about 2 hours still. I really chug now. So if I spend very little time, like if I just walk straight to Walmart, turn around, walk back, I can get my 6+ mile Walkies done in about an hour and a half. It slows down when I get to Walmart because generally I buy things like yogurt and sodas for the next day, pop it into my backpack, and then walk it all back. Since I've been doing things like buying cat dirt, putting it into my backpack, and then carrying it, from Walmart or Safeway to here, that used to be really heavy. It's not really heavy anymore. Walking upstairs with a 20-pound container of cat dirt I don't even feel it anymore. So thumbs up for exercise. A very, very good thing. But they worked out and it was good. There have been no real other close cases of almost being hit and killed since the last time that I talked about that, so that's good. No real jumps for safety. But then I don't walk in front of cars anymore. If I'm at a walking and there's a car at an intersection, I stop, I turn, I walk this way, go back behind the car, and then over into the corner and go. So I do my best not to even give them the temptation to try and run me over and kill me. So thumbs up for that. I'm quite sure I have irritated a lot of people, and that they've probably been waiting for me to go, and then I go and turn and walk behind them while they were waiting to give me a chance to pass. But I ain't going to take the risk. Not after I've almost been hit and killed so many times. Thumbs up for that. Past that, I've just been trying to do what I can do. I played some video games yesterday. I've been playing a lot of Nightmare Reaper, and then I've almost finished a whole lot of other things on the game Postal too. I got an 8-point-something% achievement after X number of decades, or however long they've had achievements for the game, because I found the secret. You can find Tora Bora, where like the Taliban was in the game, if you go through a sewer just back behind your trailer. And for the first time, I actually made it to Tora Bora. And only 8% of people have made it into that place. When they make a secret, they make a secret. And I'm sure there's more that I still haven't found yet, because I found what looks like just a dead end, but I know it doesn't dead end like that. So thumbs up for that. Yay. Past that, I've just been trying to do the best I can. So I'm going to talk about creative stuff now, but the project of the whole Cryptid world, and then the Razor's Edge setting. My upper lip and my nose are just itching. Hopefully I don't have like a leech or anything trying to escape from my nose. Just have to snark it back up if I do. Okay, that's really repulsive. The only reason I said that is because there was an actual story. I think she was a biologist or something, or a biology student, but she went swimming in like a pond, and for a couple of weeks afterward she felt something weird inside of her nose, and then one day she discovered there was an actual leech inside of her sinuses that had been there ever since she'd gone swimming. So thumbs up for that. But on the whole Razor's Edge and Cryptid stuff, I've got this stuff down here. First off, of course, this thing that I'd mentioned there. I didn't mention that, did I? There's Uncle Bonbon's Daily Special with the Chicago tourist served raw and bloody. After all, even though Uncle Bonbon's is effectively the Ben and Jerry's of the cryptid world, the moral compass of the cryptid people, it doesn't have a true north. Whichever way it just happens to stop after you give it a spin, that's where true north is. So they can justify damn near anything. So even though they're the Ben and Jerry's and they try to use volunteers, sometimes they're one of those involunteers. So thumbs up for that. As well as, I mentioned yesterday how there are people that work for like Uncle Bonbons, and they will tell people, that do you want to live your life long, get sick, old, wither, leave tears that you're passing and people sad? Or do you want to leave this world on your choice and bring smiles to people's faces for weeks, perhaps months afterward? And they talk about how cryptid children will be just laughing and having fun while eating their candy floss human hair. And others who are just thankful and appreciative of the human products that they happen to be eating, whether it's deep fried human skin, human teeth, or rock candy made from the bones of our hands and feet. Whether it's anything like that, they have stopped and been appreciative. So says the representatives from Uncle Bonbon's. The thing is, though, they're actually not lying. It may not be as beautiful and textbook wonderful as they're painting it, but yeah, when the cryptid children at festivals and such are running around with handfuls of human hair with human blood plasma sweetening on it, yeah, they love that stuff. It does bring smiles. And there are cryptids, they do stop because they're kind of weird that way, and they will thank whoever gave up their life for the food product they are eating. They are appreciative. There are smiles. They are not lying. There is happiness brought to the world through your passing and giving yourself up to be used as snacks for cryptids and other human beings. So, a definite thumbs up, and my nose will not stop itching. My sincere apologies. And, of course, even though you will give yourself up to be processed and broken down into snack products, it would be nice if cryptids were able to make that one conceptual leap that is such an issue. There is Polly, who is a young female cryptid. She advocates for the stopping of cryptid on cryptid trauma, to stop the chains of cryptid trauma and abuse, pain, and killing. She advocates this because her friend was eaten in front of her when she was young, and it made a huge impression on her. And now that she's older, she advocates that that not happen. She can't make that conceptual leap that people feel the same way. So she says, when you want to eat a cryptid, don't. Just go eat a human being. Fill your belly with them. That's what they're for, to keep your belly full. She can't make that conceptual leap. A lot of cryptids can't, even the ones that are working on boards of like the Uncle Bonbons. Because when you go into the processing center, cryptids generally don't kill you before they eat you, because their logical thought processes say eating you is going to kill you, so why expend the effort to kill you and then eat you when you're going to die anyway? Can't make that leap that maybe it's an act of compassion? So they don't. They will just eat you while you're screaming and trying to get away because you don't want to die. And after all, as I've mentioned, it's not a real thought process they go through. It's all subconscious. But when you eat corn chips crunch, because that's what corn chips crunch. That's what corn chips do when you eat them. Human beings scream and try to get away when you eat or kill them. You don't pay attention to it because that's what people do when you eat or kill them. So you just ignore it like you ignore corn chips that crunch. And it's not even a conscious thing. That's just the way their brains work. So when you go into an Uncle Bonbons to get yourself processed, you may unfortunately find yourself raw and bloody and having your teeth yanked out of your head with pliers while you're still alive. And that's unfortunate. But after all, they have been trained to ignore the screams, the begs for mercy, and the cries and all that. After all, the body is an animal and it wants to live. It will betray your mind and brain. You can make your decision to give yourself up and be processed before you begin the actual process of being broken down. But your body is going to betray you. It is an animal. It wants to live. And so they're just going to ignore your screams and begging for mercy as they yank your teeth out of your head with pliers before sending you onward to the next station. You might be lucky. You might be one of those that dies because somebody takes a hacksaw and hacks your head off your shoulders. Of course, it's the hacking your head off your shoulders with a hacksaw that kills you, but at least the pain stops after that. And again, they're not doing this because they're evil. It is they are just unable to make that conceptual leap that what they're doing is not good, especially since the default setting of 95% of all cryptids At the very worst, their viewpoint, even Polly, who looks upon us as just something to keep their bellies full, is just default is neutral pleasant. They may talk contemptuously about us as unthinking cattle, but they don't dislike us. At worst, it's just they look upon us as, hey, they're here. And at best, it's they actively like us. Like, you know, there's the one suburban cryptid in his late 70s who lived among humans, married one, mourned her passing, and is now traveling the United States, seeing just the sights of the United States in his RV. He stops occasionally at larger concentrations of cryptids, but generally he's spending 90% of his time just interacting with people. And if you do something stupid like call human beings just cattle in his presence, he will mop the floor with you because you do not call the memory of his late wife, Emma, cattle. So it's rough, it's terrifying, but they're not evil as we would define it from their viewpoint. We, of course, are in the victim pool, so yeah, I mean, I would hate to have somebody yanking my teeth out of my head with pliers in a people processing station. But they don't do this to be evil, it's just they can't figure that. So yay. Now let's see what else they have. Oh yes, there's this really quick 2 characters I've talked about. There was the one character, Cornetto, who is going to die halfway through this story. Very unpleasant individual, but also has friends, and the one cryptid, Lynn Tanner, and they actually are minor friends with King Mike, the person who's in charge of the lunatic asylum here of Brookerton, South Carolina. And Cornetto, though, is a physical embodiment of chaos and mayhem. You never know what's going to set Cornetto off. Cornetto never knows what's going to set Cornetto off. And if nothing, Cornetto is also very confusing in that on some days he is brutish, thuggish, and just a plain bully. And on the next, you'll find him reading deep books the whole day. He's not hurting or bothering anybody. And then the next, of course, he eats somebody's family because he's pissed off at some one person. And then, of course, there's this one insurance salesman who finally, in the context of the story, in the beginning I talk about how they need to get an assistant and an office. At some point later on, they do. Work has slowed off a little bit, but they have an actual office, they have an assistant, there's actually a franchise office on the other side of town to help keep the pressure off of this one cryptid, because boy, they had been gaining weight. They'd had to be eating every single policy holder, and that had been like, in 90 days, 90 policy holders he'd had to eat. He was gaining weight, and that was bad. So he's got an office to keep all the files. He's got an assistant so that they trade off eating policy holders. And across town, if people are on that side of town, they're directed to go there to get the policy. And if their policy is accepted electronically and they are given their policyholder ID, the policyholder will be devoured within 1/2 hour per company policy. Although this insurance salesman, his personal plan is once you are accepted, within 5 minutes, you're being digested. So he's very professional. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, we are Jesse Koskinen. Thumbs up, thank you. Good to see you. And boy, the Nintendo Switch. But that's an old comment, so let me get back to the top. where it's yes, Dragon's Dogma and all that, and the Switch, and fantasy is awesome. I really do like fantasy stuff quite a bit as well. It is very, very good. There is ASRA, thumbs up, thank you. JAYY. When I draw little things back here on here, they're just doodles that I come with, the spur of the moment. Generally, it's mountains in the background, a plain in the foreground, and then just some landscaping in the middle. It wasn't anything important, just a quick doodle, but thumbs up. And then we have Floramu, always good to see you. And of course, I said this in a comment. My character's full name was Lester Israel Moore. Israel, you know, the short term for that is Izzy, or is, and the short name for Lester is Les. So he honestly was less is more. And then we have Glowing Turtle, who is actually the author of The Drifter, thanking me for playing. Thumbs up, thank you for making the game. Jacqueline, greatly appreciated. Sebastian Ferris, I do like it dim and gray, but actually as I've gotten older, I like sunlight too. It's really weird. 77 Arcturus, a great amount of comments, and I've spent so much time doing everything else I don't have anything to talk about with, but thank you for the comments, greatly appreciated, and hopefully tomorrow morning I can do some of talking about comments and such like that. I can speak English, my brain works, I promise you. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And I don't know if being into soft vor is twisted. I mean, just because I get frisky thinking about people being digested alive. And there is Pinball Evan, thumbs up, thank you. And that is it. 10 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people. If only for a short time, and if only in text. Thumbs up. Little hokey smokes, it's still Sunday. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to try and record some Minecraft today, so that'll be cool. Definitely a thumbs up. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. Hopefully you're not going to try and get done anything major. It's a weekend. Take it easy if you can. Thumbs up for that. And of course, wherever you are, if people are getting sick, try taking precautions. If people are getting hurt, try taking precautions. If you're at Walkies and you hear the mournful howl of that bus horn, the bus with your name on it, well, you can't take precautions. It's going to hit you. The impact is going to kill you. And depending on what you get caught between, that bus is going to smear your corpse. It's horrendous. But until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.